Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at the hourly chart, what's going on with those micro movements and what I think is likely to happen next. Now as I get into the video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button, I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, why not check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. And yeah, let's just jump right down into this one. So as you can see here, we do see ourselves in a long sideways ranging market. I do suspect that there's a move to the downside and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We have seen a few different things going on, the kind of fake pump up to 30k, the liquidity grabbing as price jumps back down. I think it was like a quick kind of 9.33% drop that also kind of just moved right back up again. So there's a lot of liquidity grabbing going on, and I do suspect we have a bit of a move to the downside because we do have a structure for that. So let's go down and start with that structure. So as you can kind of see right inside here, we do have ourselves an interesting emerging structure. Okay, this structure is essentially 5 waves, or it has the potential to be 5 waves. Our minimum expectation though should be that it would be a zigzag pattern, right? So we've got these 2 yellow box areas just down here, 26,118 to 26,734, and then same high, but a little bit lower at 26,000. Or we have a 1.618 down here at $24,864, right? So we can see that there's these idea that we have to kind of move on down. Now, if we take a look at this structure in a little bit more detail, we obviously have our first 5 wave count coming down and we have this move to the upside here. This move at the moment looks like it has a 3 wave count to it, okay? And it does look like it's fallen a little short. It's still possible, however, that we haven't yet finished and we need to do a double top at the 30,036. And as we said yesterday, there are 3 levels of invalidation to this. 30,036 would basically be invalidating the idea of this 5 wave structure. We'd have to explain why it is there. Instead of a beginning structure, it would have to be the end of a structure. And then we've got 30,485. And that is this area here, the origin of the wave 1 position. So if we go up higher than that, then it would invalidate the idea of coming down to that 24,864. And then we have the new local top if we go to go higher than 31,000 flat, which is obviously up here. Okay, so we have 3 levels of this, where 3 levels of resistance, 3 local highs, and those local highs are interesting because they would break or change the structure of Bitcoin. Okay, so we always have to make sure that we are aware of those numbers, and if price does go up there, then obviously we know we've done something wrong with our wave counts. Now, as we can kind of see, we have this move, so it's possible that we are going to see a big kind of move to the downside where we hit this area, and it could be prolonged. Okay, so as this is a big wave 3 situation, it would consist of 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down. So it wouldn't be that you'd go straight down there. You'd take some time. It's already taken a little bit of time during this weekend, but what it's done is it has moved our stochastic RSIs into some interesting positions. Okay, so we can see that there's an oversold position on the 4-hour, but overbought on the 1-hour, close to overbought on the 8-hour, and the daily and the weekly and so forth. So we've got to kind of keep an eye on what the momentum is like, because we saw a lot of volatility yesterday on the hourly without actually doing any price movement. So for example, we went down to oversold, we went back to overbought, we went down to oversold, we've gone back to overbought, and all we've done is just range in a sideways trade, right? Basically, there's low trading volumes, there's low participation right now, and it basically just messes with the stochastic RSI because it's so sensitive to price movements. So it's important that we understand those things. Now, I think next week's going to be an incredibly volatile week, and we are more than likely going to see a lot of liquidity grabs occurring on both the downside and the upside. So I would have thought that we'd have an initial pull to the downside, then some kind of spike to the upside before falling back to the downside. And as you can see, when we hit this 1.618, and if we do hit this 1.618, there's still going to be a significant surge to the upside here. It's going to be a 38.2% retracement of this wave 3, most typically. And then, of course, there's going to be another pull to the downside. So you're going to find yourself with a lot of money being transferred between people during these moments of volatility. And I do think next week has the ability to do so with some of the fundamental things that are going on in the real world. So we want to be keeping a close eye and making informed decisions when it comes to trading. For example, shorting the market right now, we can of course use our entry, current price as entry, stop loss above the 30,036, and potentially target out down here on the upper end of this this range. This gives us a 3.22 risk reward ratio, and a pretty decent amount of profit to be made there. And of course, we could use a trailing stop, which means we could ride this potentially even down lower towards our 24,864, whilst taking our stop loss into the green as we kind of carry on going. So there's a lot of fantastic things to come from that, and so there's opportunity within shorting Bitcoin. Going long on Bitcoin, you don't have the same parameters. You could potentially, if you really wanted to kind of go long and be that bull, use the 200 EMA as a support line, but again, there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. Otherwise, you're going to have to give it a really good broad area where we see the fifth wave low, this swing low, being that as your stop loss, and then targeting out whatever height of price you think it's going to go to. It's very difficult to see a good risk reward ratio going long at the moment. I can only see good parameters for shorting Bitcoin at the moment. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that does develop over time. Now, if I come over to the smart money concepts, what do we see? And we can see very much the same story. We are still in a bearish structure. We do have ourselves a strong high, so unlikely to break that, and we have ourselves a weak low. We're yet to test the equilibrium, and there's a fair value gap down there. And there is a little bit of internal order block here for buying, and you can see there's a couple for selling right up here as well. So volatility, yeah, we could probably bounce around those for a little bit. But ultimately, we can see that there was a minor change of character to bullish. That didn't even get confirmed. We now have a minor change to bearish, even though we've got a break of structure and a bearish structure at a bigger macro level there on this hourly chart. So knowing these things, knowing that the structures of the market from an Elliott wave theory or from a smart money concepts point of view, they are all kind of telling us that we should be expecting downside in terms of price pressure. So that's kind of where I sit with this one. I think on our micro movement, if we're to trade it, I think shorting the market is the way to go, and targeting out a new local low would be probably the most, or at least the safest thing in my opinion. Now, just bear in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you financial advice. All I can do is give you my thoughts and opinions on how I approach the charts with the data and how I perceive the data in the charts. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm going to leave this one right there. Just keep it nice and brief. Just giving you the points of view of what's going on over the weekend and how I kind of look at this one and how I would kind of be interested in potentially trading it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you found it useful, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out. Linked in the description below. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.
We are not financial advisors, and none of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.